Alright, welcome back. Since the last time I've been doing a little bit of modeling. Came up with this. No, seriously, this is the next thing I wanted to show you and talk about is projection and UV mapping and those kinds of things. And I need to start with something reasonably basic like this cylinder. So if we go to Render Studio and make a new scene, I'm going to bring in the cylinder this time. So all of this is completely unscripted. I'm just thinking, making this up as I go along. So it probably could be done much faster if I bothered to have a script, but I don't know, I think it's nice just to chat away like this. All right. So we have our cylinder. We're in Render Studio. What I'm going to do is drop an appearance onto it. So if I choose one of this, just the first thing I come across, and I'll try and avoid using carbon fiber because I always use carbon fiber. Maybe we'll come back to carbon fiber. I'll use this one. So if I drop this appearance onto the part this time, and again I could have used the Option key. Now you notice a couple of things. Firstly, it looks pretty good, and if you're not really ready for it, you wouldn't notice, but when you do look closely, there's this funny kind of blurriness approximately every 90 degrees, and I can explain that. And it's because there is a default UV projection on this that is a special type of projection, and I will show you them all. So we select the part. If you look down here under selection on the panel, there's a section called projector. I'll close everything else off so it doesn't distract you, but yeah, projector. Now there's a default projector for everything, and you can will get to make your own, and we actually have over in the view graph, or the scene graph, a UV projector container. We can create more UV projectors. Anyway, there is one on this already. It's called the UV projector instance here. And we click on it, there's a projector function which is being applied to this. So let's keep digging. And if we go into here, you'll see some very important things. Firstly, the basis coordinate system, which is the world in this case, but it doesn't have to be. It could be object or UVW, but let's keep it with world for the moment. Now we can transform the projection by digging even deeper, and we can rotate, scale, and translate that. But then we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here. The thing that we really want to look at and fiddle with is this projection type. And you can see here the current type is called triplanar. So basically it is looking at the three planes, X, Y, and Z, and where they kind of intersect, it's doing this sort of blendy business. It's a very highly technical description I know that I've just given you, but it's actually kind of probably easiest to understand it that way. So it projects nicely when things are lined up with those three tri-planes, and it just tries to do a good job in blending between them. And you see it sort of starts to distort here, and this one just starts to distort, and they kind of overlap. So on the 45 degree, it's kind of perfect here, but then it starts to distort. It's really good on the flat capped ends because it's in plane with the top and the bottom. So what are we going to do? We're going to try something else, and we could try the cubic projection. Now that takes away the blurriness, but it doesn't take away the distortion. And you can see how this octagon here is getting distorted towards those intersection of the planes. Again, it's pretty good over here, but it distorts again. It's good on the top, of course. So that hasn't helped us. Projection cubic. But there are other ones. And there's obviously one that works very well, which is called projection cylindrical, designed for things like this, cylinders, in other words. So this is nice because it's kind of a continuous thing around here. And what else have we got? Spherical. Spherical's not going to work very well here because we don't have a sphere. And then there's the planar one, which is really not going to work very well because it's choosing the single plane that we're choosing coming from. It's projecting down in this Z or Z axis, and so therefore it's just smearing out everything down the side. So for purposes of this, let's go with the cylindrical mapping or the cylindrical UV. All right, that's for this particular object. Now it is possible to do to your own, because we were playing with this one. We were playing with this one over here. Now you can create additional UV projectors. Just click the root group at the top, right click it, say create a new one. So you make a new one. All right. So now we can create our own projector here. Open it up a bit to actually get the projector itself, and now you can play with the new one projection. Make this one cylindrical, spherical, cubic, whatever you needed to do. Okay, so we've made a new one, which is this planar. It'll look like garbage because it will be. Now we've got this one here. We can go back to select the object. We choose selection. Now if I choose this, I should choose this, I can drag. Remember, seeing what I'm dragging here? I'm dragging the top level. I'm not dragging the thing underneath. I'm dragging this, just a little bit of an important one. I can drag that onto there, and now this object is just using the projector that we defined from before. And if we had other objects, we could have different ones. Now, this is really important because the coordinate system that you're using is really, it could be by default with respect to the world, which may or may not be helpful when things are obviously not all on the same origin point of the world, which may, you don't really see that so easily. So it gives you a chance to create as many or none of these UV projectors as you like and apply them to your objects.